Welcome back to Austin, Texas, where $100,000 is on the line here across the board for the Summer Regional for North America, as we are down to 3 teams left. Naventic have already moved on to the grand finals, and we have Cognitive going to be going up against Cloud9 here, and already Cloud9 taking that 1-0 victory with their Rek'Sai yummy play. But before we do actually get into the festivities of game number 2, Jake, I believe you do have something for us.
Yeah, you know what? We've been doing this for a long time, buddy. Zoya, we've been at this grind. I'm getting tilted already. We started Town Hall together, and I just thought it'd be a shame if we didn't celebrate your birthday. So Zoya, happy birthday, man.
Happy birthday, Zoya!
Happy birthday, Zoya! Say it. Got him.
Oh, got him.
He's out. He rejected my cake?
Oh my goodness, he is done. How to tilt really fast.
I do tilt pretty quickly. I think everyone's well aware of the
over?
the speed that I tilt. I'm tilted. I can't even speak right now.
We brought you cake. I mean, what? Why?
I have to cast a game. I can't eat cake. It dries out the throat, man.
Eat the cake right now.
I'm good.
I'm going to be talking. You can eat the cake right now. Anyway, all right, we're going into the map veto to show you once again where we are currently, of course, as we do have the vetoes that were Battlefield of Eternity and Infernal Shrines. And then Tomb of the Spider Queen was the choice of Cognitive, however, did go over to Cloud9. Now we're going to end up on Sky Temple for our second... That's not us. For our second map. So, awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Sky Temple. We're going to have a little bit of a look at Sky Temple as well here before we do start between these two teams. So, Jakey Jake, Shaky Shake.
Shaky Shake on Sky Temple, a tri-lane map where you have to vie for control over these temples, which will siege up your enemy's fortifications. If you manage to stand at that point uncontested, you have to battle the Guardians, but of course, sitting within that circle does do a good bit of damage. This is a map where global presence is quite often sought after. We see a lot of early picks on heroes like Falstad, and of course, Dahaka does come into play as well, but we haven't seen a lot of him here this weekend. In the center of the map, there is the boss. If you manage to collect the boss, yes, it is a big pivotal push, but of course, there are the giants and bruisers throughout the map as well. At the end of the day, we do see a lot of teams that are just oriented around team fighting, solo laners in the bottom for early control in the start of the game, and then global presence heroes. Great map.
Zoya, I know your candles have been blown out and things like that. On Sky Temple here, in reference to Cloud9, do you see them still being as in a dominant position, I would say, as they have looked so far? They haven't lost a single map yet.
I think that when I think about Cognitive, I feel that they're a team that tilts.
Okay.
And they
Just
might
like you.
be tilted after that game. I think, and then Cloud9 also, while they're good at coming back because they have been down 0-2 in multiple sets versus Old Tempo Storm, come back and win that 3-2, they also thrive off the momentum as well. So I would have to say, even before we see the draft, that I would say right now Cloud9 has the advantage.
All right. Okay, Dread?
I mean, I think not even that first game, I feel like I would have said the same thing. So, I mean, it only gets worse in this type of situation. Yeah, it is Cloud9's map choice. I just have more confidence in them as a team. We talked about lane experience as well, so not surprising at all.
Not surprising at all.
Does lane, I mean, I guess it's on the global sense, yeah, lane experiences count. But I think those 5 players have a lot of lane experience right now.
It's not so much the experience, but it was more talking about kind of like performance on the stage, right? It's not so much that they don't have the experience, but it just feels like Cloud9, I mean, K1 Pro talked about it earlier, it's just a team that it's not just the experience, they thrive in it, whereas others, it's more of a lot of pressure.
Success under pressure.
I mean, C9 has the track record, right? The BlizzCon champions of the first real Heroes of the Storm World Championship. I mean, that's quite the title.
You talk to every single one of them, they're all like, we love the crowd.
Oh, they feed on it. They really do.
That's something that is extremely pivotal.
I think one of my favorite interviews I've ever been a part of was when we were talking to, I think it was actually King Caffeine and K1 Pro, and they said that during that grand finals at the Vegas Regionals last year, they could, in Game 5, they could hear the C9 chanting, and they just said, the moment we heard the Cloud9 chants, we knew we won the set.
Yeah. It's very important for these two teams. I believe very, very soon we will be going into the draft for game number 2 between them, between COG and C9. But is there anything that you're really looking to stand out? I mean, I would love to see a DreamHack. Can they run Rexar on this map? Is Rexar something that's still going to come out? It's a big map for a Rexar, to be fair.
I think it can come out. I don't think that they will. I don't think there's any reason
I would not
to
say
at this point.
it's a 0% chance to see it, but it's very unlikely.
Right, okay, let's get into draft. For game number 2, it is going to be on Sky Temple between Cognitive and Cloud9. And we have the ban coming straight out for Cloud9. What is it going to be? Is it going to be a Li Ming? Is it going to be an Illidan? Is it going to be a Tassadar? Is it going to be a KO Fast?
If it's C9's map pick, they can't be first pick.
Maybe I was wrong about that then.
Maybe this is Cog's map?
It has to be in this type of situation, so that was my bad.
Back
But
to front Fruity Loops, who knows?
Fruity Loops.
it makes sense since C9 was the team who picked Tomb as well against Inventic. It was probably my
okay.
bad. I probably just read it wrong. But Cloud9, Li Ming is going to be of high contention on Sky Temple. She gains a lot more value here than a lot of the other maps, so I wouldn't be surprised. Not so much a ban, but looking to try and pick that up. So are they worried about an Illidan? Are they worried about Kel'Thas? Which one of those heroes is really what do they want early on?
Yeah, I'm just really curious if C9 even wants to play Illidan. It seems like
I don't think so.
Yeah, I almost expect it just to be banned out here because they don't want to play it themselves.
I think that's a pretty comfortable statement to say. They don't have any players that are really necessarily known as mass Illidan players.
Exactly.
They dabble in it, at times, but they aren't afraid to play it. But at the same time, it isn't within their comfort zone.
I think we might be getting a redraft.
Yeah,
I thought I saw K1 say, "Can you guys hear me?" And last time that Cloud9 went this deep into
it was a Rexar ban that was random, and we broke the draft all at once. So
fun times.
Yeah, I just saw them actually tabbing out of a screen, and yes, Sonya is the auto ban?
Yeah, I would assume so.
This is
it.
it.
Oh,
we have
This is
confirmation.
real draft,
Wow,
boys.
they
Real
used
draft.
all of their time
whoa.
for a Sonya ban.
Oh, man. And then
That
Abathur's
is interesting.
Abathur response on the end of Cog also pretty interesting here. All the mages left open, Illidan still on the table. C9 has to just pick that one hero that they want the most, really.
Cloud9 thinking really hard about their first pick here.
think
They
it'll
have no time pool, man. They're already
the
down
time
to
pools
8.
are ran down. This is,
I think it's going to be Kel'Thas.
you think Kale?
Either that or Li
Would be
Ming.
nice. We hit 0.
Stitches.
This can't be real, right?
Is this a thing?
This is the thing.
Did they just pick Stitches first, right? Pick?
This is Stitches.
My mind is blown.
So right out the gates then, all right, so obviously we're a little bit caught off guard, but C9 always loves to go for a fish in the barrel style strategy where they run as mass delays and a lot of other things in order to try and get as many hooks as possible. Cognitive is posturing for Murky very early on here. I love Murky. Actually, in my opinion, Murky is one of the least relevant competitive heroes that I actually think has a spot in a lot of drafts.
You're actually talking about the Murky theory versus the Cloud9's last comp.
Yeah, I kind of brought that up, and maybe if we see that later into the match or we have a little bit of downtime, I'll talk about all of my hypotheses to try and hypotheses to be able to deal with that composition. But
Professor Penfold.
I was tweeted at that Dr. Dread is the better of the two phrases. They don't like Professor Penfold as much.
I mean,
I
got
like
on,
Professor
got
Penfold.
on top both. I mean, that was fine. Dr. Dread was the initial, and then in real life, I just kind of, I mean, obviously we're in real life. Professor Penfold.
In the real life.
Yeah.
Wizard Wade? What else do we got?
oh my god, this is getting too far, dude. The memes are real here. Cognitive is not picking this Murky, and they've hovered it the whole time.
I'm super confused.
I actually have no idea what's happening when it comes to this draft right now.
I'm pretty sure that it's got to be bugged. I mean, there's...
but we are hearing hearing feedback from production that we don't really.
He just said. Wait a second.
Yeah,
so,
that we are kind of like it's not confirmed whether it's real or not real, but everybody's looking over to a single person there for Cloud9. I'm not confident that that's going to be the draft here. So
yeah, we'll find it in a minute. All right, so I've written down Stitches, which is slightly irritating. Cause now
and you did that in pen. How unfortunate for you,
I have to mess these things up. Professor Penfold, please help me. But anyway.
Can he erase pens with his Professor Powers?
With his Professor powers?
with my pen fold, hello? Like, I mean, think about it, dude.
Can you fold this pen for me?
I mean, pretty much.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, that's good. That's nice.
I'm sure he hasn't heard that one before.
Yeah. Way to be creative there, Colaris.
I mean, I was the Dr. Dread creator.
That's witty European jokes that we have coming out from Colaris.
What is this accent?
Guys, all right, let's move on. While we're trying to buy time here, how do you respond to Rexar? I expect to see it in the finals if they make it there, which I think is probably going to be convincing. I've come up with a couple of possible answers. One is going to be Murky, which you talked up on. So when Rexar looks to get that mass engage and everything else, obviously you're unappealing when it comes to the stun lock. If you die, you just come back to life. But then when they move in to try and get the stun lock on your backline, Murky dives their backline, actually slowing them and providing a lot of damage onto them. Then once they get low enough, the engage happens, you counter it with a cleanse, then you look to hyper engage, Octograb comes in, forcing large cooldowns, which is something that, as long as there's a follow-up, might be a decent response. The other ones are actually going to be Leap APOC, which is a very old school kind of eraser-oriented strategy, which will stun the targets for 3.5 seconds as long as they're going to be hit and the synergy is going to be real. That's only possible after recent buffs to Leap that actually happened.
Yeah.
Another one,
It's a lot of blow up.
was the Leap Falling Sword, which I already kind of brought up here.
Yep.
I do think Tass is a decent response because as they withdraw, he'll be able to E, Force Wall, and make things happen a little bit more. But then the other one, actually, which is weird, is maybe a Bile Stitches hook style.
Did you get both of the timers?
I got the cooldowns on whether or not that would be realistic. Actually, Leap is a 70-second cooldown, Stitches Bile is a 60, and Boars is a 75. So
Oh,
all
so
of
that
those
would work.
would fall under the parameters that it could be a counter response to each one of the Boars situations. So you could Bile it out. They take a lot of damage as they move in to kill the backline.
Really cool.
Then when everything falls down, you have an opportunity to get a hook and finish the kill because they didn't get the engage they wanted. But at the same time, Misha could wear the hook all day, and you just, feels bad, man.
Why not grab a bomb, disengage?
Wow, thanks for that.
I got weird with it, and I actually was like, Gazlo's not the worst response, but let's be 100% honest here. He struggles in so many other fronts that it's just like,
Yeah, poor guy.
because I was just going mainly off of like counter engage, who was really, really good at those, or just forcing hard engages when they need to. And obviously, Gazlo, actually, that's probably one of his best things, is that he's really good at counter engages, just it's usually you can almost never hit.
That's one of his
everything.
best things, and his accent. I'm sure you could probably do his accent, actually, Jake. Aren't you from near there?
Gosh, put me on the spot like
You don't
that.
have to do it, that's fine.
Give me a quote, give me a quote. Time is money, friend. No, that's
Did
awful.
anyone order
was
a
really
one-man
bad,
wrecking
yeah.
crew? Hello? Did anyone order a one-man wrecking crew?
Yeah, exactly, that one.
I'm not doing it, man.
Okay.
I already
That's
tried.
fine,
I
that's
already
fine.
tried.
I'm just like
I failed
full
miserably.
tilt.
Yeah, dude, so many accents.
Well, we put you on tilt a little while ago. Yeah, bring out the cake again. Good.
Happy birthday.
All right, so we are getting word that we're just still waiting on the draft here for a moment, fellas. So do bear with us whilst we get this done. Unfortunately, Stitch is Murky first. Is not going to be a thing for the time being.
Yeah, that would be pretty esports. Not going to happen today, unfortunately.
Would that be all capitals esports?
all capital esports?
All
Full,
capitals.
full capitals, bold esports.
Well, yeah, okay. Okay, that makes sense. We are in draft.
This makes more sense.
Hello, Lee Ming.
We did it, boys. We made it.
Cognitive is actually looking to ban out of Tyrande, taking out their own
Finally,
playstyle
we
here
see a
into this
Tyrande ban.
tournament.
Versus C9.
Giving up the Kel'Thas, that probably will be a response to Cognitive going into the Illidan. He is appealing on this map specifically, but who knows? Cloud9 really got the option of what they kind of wanted here early on, and they got exactly that, Kel'Thas.
So with the Tyrande gone, well, I mean, again, it's a bit more of a bigger map on Sky Temple,
Tass.
but Illidan Tass is going to come out on the other side. Tyrande gone means that Rexar doesn't have as much ability to actually grab that Misha stun up and follow.
And this has to be like Rhaegar Muradin immediately, right? You need those responses to Illidan. You have to play against it. You have to deny the Rhaegar from being picked up, or they could ban it, of course. But obviously, if you grab either Uther or Rhaegar, you can ban the opposite, and then Illidan has been handled to an extent.
Yeah, and we've seen when teams are able to do that, putting them on an off support to try and complement the Illidan has not been very successful. Kharazim has been attempted here at this tournament, and it didn't work out very well for a majority of the teams. So
I mean, in general, in North America, Palm doesn't seem the same kind of use that it does in some of the players in Europe and Asia. I almost think that they're just better with it, to be honest. Because
I wouldn't totally disagree.
It doesn't fit a lot of people's play style.
Yeah, for sure.
Very, very polarizing, I would say, Palm, for the most part.
Yeah. I feel like it's a team effort too. It's not always up to the support. Half the time I feel like it's up to the team and how they play when they know they have a palm.
It's a surprisingly short range and very, very irritating to actually land sometimes as Kharazim, so that's why you've got to be on that full same page.
C9 is actually hovering a Sylvanas. Obviously, she's a great pick in a lot of situations. I like it as kind of an answer to be able to help kill the Illidan as well.
She's
He
good
dives
versus
in, you
Illidan,
kill the back line, or you silence the back line. Guess what? Illidan's going to be falling down here at this time.
plus the Shadow Dagger paired with Living Bomb. I mean, that's a lot of spread damage.
You will rip apart those shields.
Yeah.
And I've always just been a fan of Sylvanas on this map. Just any extra value you can get before the temple phases is just great. And of course, any map that has a boss on it, Sylvanas is not a bad option with that as well.
Are they going to... Is Cloud9 going to run...
Don't say Lily.
No. I mean,
Please,
it was a little
no
bit
more
more of
Lily.
a bold move, but I want to know the ban here coming out from Cognitive. I think I have a little bit too bold of a perspective of what they might ban, and I'll wait until see if I'm right
No, I
here.
want to hear.
It's actually Zeratul. And I know that sounds really weird, but
I don't think
Cloud9
so. I don't
actually
think that's weird
hovers
at all.
towards Zeratul a lot when it comes to this map, and it's with how they've already isolated the Sylvanas that complement the Kael'thas as well, and it's just pretty much a comfort for C9, so I actually would think that might be a realistic ban for them.
You're going to hate me, but I actually don't mind it here.
No, I'm agreed.
You know,
the Lily. Oh, you might. I mean,
To be-
Lily. Okay.
I actually don't mind that here
Okay,
from
well-
Cloud9, but we can talk about that later.
So for the Zeratul, just to counter that, yes, Uther's being hovered. For the
And
Zeratul,
Cloud9 just bans Rhaegar. You don't.
Get a healer that you want,
Yeah, you're gonna be forced to take Brightwing in this situation.
maybe that's
which
what they
is
want.
decent, but
But
I
it's
don't
not
feel like that's
ideal.
a solid
Maybe
answer.
they're trying
Yeah.
to force C9 into an off support that they don't want to play. If Rhaegar is banned out here, C9 has to pick Karazim, Medic.
I'm scared. I'm scared, guys. I mean, this was already forced initially anyway by Cognitive saying, you can't have Tyrande, we're going to take Tassadar, thus you're probably going to end up with only one support unless you go super
hope-
wild. And we could end up with 2.
I hope Cloud9's patient on this ban. I hope they take most of their time
Oh, it's going to be.
They don't even care.
don't even
As soon
care.
as you say
And
that,
Nancy.
they haven't locked it in.
I was
they
worried
haven't
that
locked
they
it in.
might be considering the banning on the ETC, but I would again agree with Dread 100%. Rhaegar is just the ideal here. Rhaegar is the best support to have with your Illidan, ideally.
Yeah,
And
especially-
Uther being next up, but
But I don't, like, I mean, even if Cog wanted to go Brightwing on towards Illidan, putting shields on him just before he engages is actually not bad.
No, actually, okay,
it's
so
not bad at all.
it is actually really, really good. I would
Yes.
just argue that every team here doesn't understand how to play that composition appropriately. So, like, that
think?
was really common. Yeah, so the Brightwing has to TP as the Illidan's being hyper-aggressive. You get a
Yes.
large amount of pressure on the backline, you provide the shield, and then you poly the healer so the target who they're on dies. But it feels like a lot of the teams here just kind of go in, that's not with the Illidan, it gets a little bit of shield, he goes in, and then you can't keep him alive because you cannot blink heal onto him, or you're going to die as a Brightwing.
what this should do, though, with both Tassadar and Brightwing, but Brightwing being a hero that can get Peekaboo, this should eliminate any Zeratul option.
I
for
don't think
Cloud9.
so.
You don't
I
think so?
think if anything, he's more appealing now than ever. You have no way outside of a polymorph to, or like polymorph on Zeratul.
Yeah, they go
even then it's a
Falstad for
large
sure,
bullet.
yeah.
You have no way to be able
No
to
lockdown
like.
for him.
It's just you would kill
It'll just be
everything
like
if you have
ETC,
Zeratul.
basically, that could stun him when he blinks in.
Based on their performance versus Naventic, though, I have to say that iDream Zeratul didn't look that crisp yesterday. I mean,
disagree with that, though, and I said that earlier to you. I think his Zeratul looked phenomenal that entire time. He had great VPs.
he had like 2 good VPs that game. They were nice, but
I'm a little
Falstad
torn
goes
on it.
in.
I had moments where I was actually, I thought that he
There was the
played
top
very
lane
well,
death
and he had
that was
some moments where I was
ridiculous,
just like,
but-
this is
Yeah.
questionable. But they do lock in the Brightwing Falstad, double global.
Someone has to be Karazim, surely.
Dahaka,
Dahaka.
finally.
Oh my goodness, is he going to show up in this
This
tournament?
is a lot of CC. I
Well, they
love
got to
Dahaka
combat the
CC.
global. I mean, look, you've got Brightwing, Falstad on the other side. Dahaka, if you don't do that, you're going to die in terms of so.
No,
for
what's
a
a
long
great, and the
time.
great thing about Dahaka is it's Brightwing. You don't
What-
take cleanse.
what I'm worried about here is I think this is
Yep.
going to be Dunk Train playing Malfurion at the end of the day, and if Malfurion does go Ice Block and you time Mighty Gust to seclude Malfurion when he pops that Ice Block, it could be like really, really dangerous for him in those situations.
I mean, it might not be Malfurion. I mean, now that we've gotten further into the draft, I'm going to hate myself.
He's going to say
Lily.
As
He's gonna
solo?
say it.
As solo, though?
It's
that
not
wasn't my
horrible.
thought. That wasn't my thought.
I would actually argue that I don't really worry when I play Malfurion into a Falstad too much about the Ice Block getting isolated, largely just
Right.
because positionally I'm so far forward, we're usually winning if my like Ice Block is like that
see.
kind of tool, right?
I guess
so,
Gust has been nerfed too, so it's not
I guess you
as
have to go the
prevalent.
mouth because there is the threat of the ETC where you will want a cleanse on at least one target to be able to stun
I
that
prefer
out.
the mouth, like 100%. I like Lele for me. I just feel like it's too many resources have to be committed to certain picks and bans for you to pick it and it be realistic currently with how many heroes are relevant and how poor she kind of provides.
Well, looking at the draft, I know that Mental Acuity is normally the go-to for Tassadar, but is there any room for Mule?
So no, because you're sitting with an Illidan and you have to baby him to death.
Wasn't it 7 or 4?
7 is going to be the
Oh, it's
leeching.
7. What am I?
And, or the
That's Kala's
supply, no,
Embrace.
no,
Yeah,
it's
never mind.
Kala's Embrace.
Ignore that bit.
Yeah, sad.
Eh.
I actually prefer Mule a lot on this map. It's something I've talked about a lot that I feel like it's
fallen
very
off hard.
underutilized.
Yeah.
Where
And
it used to be like the meta is like if you didn't have a Mule, you're like, how do you win on Sky Temple? And if you ever want to troll the heck out of your solo queue games, take Mule as a support if you don't need the cleanse because they will have a bad time if you trade shrines. So.
True.
But, so is it going to be a mosh? Is it going to be a stage dive? We could see a triple global opportunity coming out here with the Falstad, with the Brightwing, with the ETC. I personally don't like it. I think if you commit
too
that many
much.
resources, it's like the cheese is not powerful enough on Sky Temple. If it was like towers, I'd say maybe.
Yeah.
But even then, I think it's a little bit too bold. I think this game, with looking at this draft is all up to Iacona. I think the Brightwing has to be flawless for it to be a relevant pick and worth the bans that they did so boldly.
I mean, do you believe on the other side for C9, a lot of the onus is on DreamHack, really? I think DreamHack has got a really good position here to be able to not only eventually shut down something like the Illidan's play if he's able to follow up from a stun that was able to catch him, but also, I mean, even soaking and actually then transitioning to a fight is very important as well.
Yeah. I think that with the initial ban on Li Ming from Cloud9, they are very much prepared to deal with Cognitive's Illidan.
Yeah, no,
with how the entire draft went, I feel like Cloud9 was expecting almost every single one of these picks, so they have to have a game plan going into this.
I think historically, being somebody who competed against Glaring and played with them for a long time, legitimately, like, and Equinox is another player that, like, when you draft into them, you are 100% prepared to face Kerrigan, Illidan, and Zeratul. And if you didn't draft accordingly to be able to deal with, like, you just your whole game plan, even you play around the idea that they're probably going to be going into that. So I think
everything on C9's end, you know, was reactive. They did their own thing. I think that, like, if you look at how Cognitive was drafting, you could have been like, they're going to go Illidan TAS. They're going to go, you know, Brightwing Falstaff.
No,
like,
you know,
their draft was 100% predictable, and Cloud9, they do their studies.
All right, boys. Well, I need predictions from you. We're going to start all the way on down there and come this way.
I'm feeling it for C9. They know exactly how to play against us. They've played against compositions exactly like this a million times over, and the DreamHack is going to be a wild card, right? This is still a newer hero, and on a map like this, it gives them a good bit of power.
Cloud9.
I still give it to Cloud9, but if there was going to be a team be able to take off a game, I think this is, like, you have Glarong on a melee assassin. He's either going to thrive and be able to complement everything about, like, his playstyle, punish for small mistakes. But realistically, I think Cloud9's a better team, and they have a realistic draft.
So 3 Cloud9s for you guys.
Yep.
I go Cloud9 too. But personally, I don't believe as much that DreamHack is the wild card. I think he's very stable on this map. But I believe you probably think that too as well, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into it then. It will be our game number 2 here, as we do have Cognitive going up against Cloud9. I'm going to hand you over to the very capable hands of Zoya and Jake.
Alrighty, Zoya, this is it. Match point for Cloud9. Do you think they can do it all here?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that they got the composition exactly that they wanted, and they knew what they're going to be up against. They've planned this out.
They've planned it out? You think they've done their study? They've got it all set up here. Well, guys, this is game number 2. Sky Temple is our map, and we're jumping right in. On the blue side of the map, that is Cognitive. Give it up for him. Alrighty, well, with Cognitive, we have Coffin Luck playing as Tassadar. It's going to be Caterpillar playing the ETC, Glaurung dancing around on Illidan, Iacona going to be on the Brightwing, and Falsehead played by Faye.
And make some noise for Cloud9. We have iDream playing DreamHack, K1 Pro on Kael'Thas, Dunk Train on Malfurion, Arthlon playing Sylvanas, and Murden played by King Caffeine.
Well, this is it. Tournament point, or excuse me, match point here for Cloud9 to try to advance into the grand finals and potentially the final game here for COG if they can't bring it all back. Both teams vying for the watchtower here in the top center of the map, while Brightwing is prepared to soak in bottom. So unless we do see a responsive DreamHack or someone rotating down to the bottom lane, that will indeed be a little bit of experience lost, but Cloud9 is well aware of it.
Yeah, DreamHack is going to have to, you know, waddle on down to the bottom lane as he did burrow to the center to contest Falstad there, just make sure that she wasn't able to hold that point. But a lot of damage going down onto ETC. First blood very quickly here for Cloud9.
Wow, yeah, they are showing just the power of control, you know, prioritizing a lot of stuns, a lot of lockdown. Gravity Labs, we have the drag there for DreamHack, Storm, Bullet Force, and then the Roots of Malfurion. Glaurung taking a lot of damage, but we will be able to get out of there, and a lot of aggression from Arthlon pushing on forward. Now, Sylvanas is a hero that they're going to try to escort and get a lot of damage done. Cloud9 knows that they've taken out someone, they've just pressured Glaurung to tap well already, and they can start to siege up this top lane.
Well, Power Slide comes out. There's a nice gank coming from King Caffeine, but he's so tanky. Is Caff going to go for the body block? No, nice rotation from Coffin to make sure that he was going to survive that. And we do have those temples spawning, Jake. We'll have to see what rotations we're going to see. Is DreamHack going to come up early? And it looks like he's already rotating to mid.
So we've already seen, you know, the 1 kill, but actually a bigger deal than that, we've actually had 2 wells tapped going into this temple fade. So that's kind of a pretty big disadvantage on the side of Cognitive, as they don't have the same kind of survivability to stay out on the map.
A lot of damage going down on the Glaude. He's a bad spot. The drag connects. The Gravity Labs follow-up is there. Another kill for C9. You cannot this is essentially the same thing as the Tirana compositions we've been seeing. If you get hit by 1 CC, you're going to get hit by 4 more.
Zoya, we're not even 2 minutes into this game yet. We've already seen crazy lockdown on the side of C9. Does Brightwing have to go cleanse instead of face shield?
Why did they ban Uther, man? That just threw everything off. They can't go cleanse. If you're going to go Brightwing and go cleanse, you might as well have just picked Karazim in this situation.
Okay, so Dahaka controlling the top shrine while the rest of C9 is dead. And Dahaka can immediately just brush talk her down, but Dunk Train taking a ton of damage. Illidan dives in and Glaurung picks up the kill on Dunk Train.
Nice aggression coming from Cal.
Oh, Dahaka!
Oh, that was crazy, but the Polymorph is there. iDream is very far forward. They're looking to kill him. No Malfurion to support him, and that was a mistake from Cloud9. Evened up the kills now, 2-2.
Yeah, the snap call, the Polymorph came out, denied that aggression, stopped that drag from happening, and, you know, without Dunk Train there for the heals, there was just no escaping for Dahaka.
Yeah, really, really well done there from Cognitive, with just showing the aggression. No hesitation from Caterpillar, as he was just instantly winning once he saw Malfurion out of position.
Well, the top fort is quite low after the pressure we saw from Sylvanas a bit earlier and the complete control of that top shrine. Middle shrine did go more or less in favor of Cognitive, but they got the double kill, so they do have themselves a nice experience lead.
Well, we do see that Cognitive going to try and maintain this as they are taking Illidan to that Bruiser camp. And we'll see what damage they can do with that. Now, a lot of the time, you just have one person pushing with it. Sometimes you can have multiple. I'm curious as to what that potential is. But Kael'thas might be getting ganked here in the bottom as we have Tassadar and ETC patiently waiting. But K1 Pro knows that they're missing.
Steps forward in a bit of a cheeky position. Their power slide could have come out, but King Caffeine is ready there with the peel. Now, we do have the first Mercenary camp picked up the top lane by Illidan. He does indeed excel at that, but that's something that Dahaka will have to respond to while he's in that top lane.
Level 7 almost here for Cog. We'll see what talents they're going to end up picking. A lot of damage going down to Arthlon, but he does Haunting Wave out. And he's going to be able to reposition himself. And no kills yet for Cog again, but they're doing a great job with the aggression rotation. They're going to try and evade the camp here for Team 9, and they do scout it out. Can they get them off this point, though?
Well, both Dahaka and Malfurion are in the top lane, so they know that there's no way for Duncan to get down here quickly, and a huge invade came up for taking a ton of damage. Will end up falling very early after the phase shift comes in. Now King Caffeine has dwarfed off to safety, and Cognitive has turned up the heat.
Yeah, I mean, with Dahaka, he could burrow in, but because Malfurion, which you very deliberately pointed out, was top lane, I don't even know what K1 Pro was thinking trying to contest that. He was a very easy kill target.
And it's not like the Giant Camp is like a critical part of your success, right? You know this bottom lane is nice to have, but now they're sitting in this situation where they are almost a level down in experience. They have lost control of the Mercenary camps when it comes down to that. They won't have that additional push, and going into this next temple, they have no clear advantage.
Well, 3 kills to 2 in favor of Cog, and the temple is spawning. And I mean, this push here, they're abusing the globals very well, Jake, and that's exactly what they needed to.
Right.
And again, as Dreadnought said in the pre-game analysis, Iacona is going to have to be playing this very, very well.
Well, so far, so good here for the side of Iacona. Level 8 to 7 in favor of Cognitive. Now, level 10 is quite far away, so that's not definitely a critical moment for this bottom shrine, but we do see that presence. Dahaka does need to burrow down.
Brightwing has teleported in. iDream looking for the drag. He gets it on Caterpillar with a follow-up CCB there. No, it is not, but they go for it. Glaurung instead. A bit of split DPS on the end of Cloud9. And I wonder if that's the reason why there were no confirmed kills for them. Is this everyone else was on their own different targets? Glaurung willing to be aggressive. Now the drag is there. The grab down's it's following. Will they get the Stormbolt down? The root is there, but there's just no damage from C9.
But they cannot keep Dahaka alive. Cattle with a beautiful power slide, and Dream goes down once again. He has really not had that impact. Yes, the grabs have been good with that tongue of Dahaka, but not quite having the impact for the blow-up. The shields of Tassadar, the shields of Brightwing with that face shield proved to be more than enough to keep Illidan up.
Illidan, a very snowbally hero. Once he has a lead, it's hard to lose it. And Sky Temple, very snowbally map, where once you have a lead on it, it's very hard to not maintain that. So Cognitive in a fantastic spot as they hit level 10 before Cloud9 hits level 9. Will it be the stage dive? That's what we're waiting to see.
Yeah, I mean, I actually like the idea of holding that right now. Iacona, of course, very well known for holding that on Brightwing, but ETC does go for the stage dive. So the triple global presence here, as predicted, is in fact the case.
I mean, when you have 4 interrupts with Wailing Arrow, Gravity Lapse, Drag, and then, of course, Stormbolt, it's going to be hard to get a value mod.
And suddenly, it's a 2-level lead in favor of Cognitive, so Cloud9 very much on the back court. The stage dive does come in, Cloud9 backs away, so that is a heroic spent for no benefit.
Yeah, a lot of good value out of that for C9. I mean, they got the teleport from Brightwing as well as the stage dive. Both of those having a fairly long cooldown. But yeah, Cloud9 just needs to kind of take a deep breath and get on the same page. In these last two team fights, everyone seems to be wanting to go on a different target. Ideally, you want to try and kill the Illidan here, but both times iDream has gone for ETC.
Okay, Falset flies down, and Cognitive realizing they do have a bit of a window. They are starting on the boss. Now C9, they might be well aware of this, but without level 10, it's so risky to try to take a fight against them.
Well, the boss going to go over here uncontested. Caffeine trying to get on the point. Is he willing to hard commit to it? No, so the boss going over free for Cognitive. Well done by them.
Yeah, I mean, that's just beautiful, beautiful realization of their scenario right now. And once again, they're invading this mercenary camp here on the right side. On level 10 finally picked up here on the side of Cloud9. We do have the Isolation, Willing Arrow. We have the Phoenix, Tranquility, and Muradin. Playmaker is something King Caffeine is willing to bust out. No, it's going to be the Avatar.
It'll help if they do get the, power slide into polymorph combo and they do a lot of damage to Muradin. But that is 2 forts down here for Cloud9 and almost level 13. I mean, they don't even need the team fight. We might go most of this game without even seeing a Metamorphosis used, just because what can Cloud9 do besides react to what Cog's doing? Cognitive gets full control over the map right now.
Yeah, and already, I mean, just the 1 fort remaining on the side of C9. Now, the benefits of C9 is they do have that top fort very low, but they're now down to talent here, looking for a fight very early, glowering in the front. He's going to have the big face shield, and the stage dive going in, connecting on K1 Pro. Metamorphosis immediately focusing on that Kael'thas, and K1 will go down. King Caffeine has popped Avatar, doing his best to keep the team peeled. The Tranquility is doing a lot of healing, but King Caffeine will get gusted back, and now Arthlon is all by himself.
Honeywave did come forward, not willing to chase there. Brightwing with the ice blocks is going to be able to dodge for now. Nice polymorph and great force wall as well. Caffeine does not connect the Storm Bolt, so great disengage there for
He's looking
Cognitive.
at Kona. Okay, the Arcane Flare does force him up, and they're going to just grab control of this watchtower. Beautiful game so far from Cognitive.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job. They're, again, maintaining this momentum. Cloud9, they tried to force that fight again, 11 versus 13. They did not have their 13 talents, and they were still the aggressors there. They just need to, again, get everything onto the same page as their opponents.
Okay, that top temple being controlled by Cloud9 did confirm the top fort, so that's a good bit of experience, but they're still down in talent here, so they don't want to look for a team fight. Right now, they've been completely avoiding the bottom lane. Brightwing is controlling the temple, can phase shift in at any moment.
We do see that they are up here.
Dahaka just burrowed, yeah.
They're looking to pressure off Iacona, which Iacona did teleport up.
Okay, this is actually a really great response. They just forced the rotation out of Cognitive. They know they couldn't fight, and, Iacona didn't want to risk a fight versus iDream on the Dahaka.
I'm just like, it's so hard for C9 to get any momentum in here without taking a fight, and Cognitive is doing a great job of avoiding a fight. Their rotations are just always one step ahead of C9, and anytime C9 gets a chance to actually engage, Mighty Gust is used. They just get a free disengage.
Yeah. Well, level 13 is finally here. It's not the biggest of power spikes, but it's going to give Cloud9 at least an even talent footing in this moment of the game. But 2-level lead is Cognitive Gaming, looking to do their best to bring us to a game number 3.
Well, Coffin Luck and his team going to be taking this giant camp in the bottom left again. All pressure now from Cognitive goes on to Keeps.
Yeah, they've been really just controlling the mercenary camps insanely well. Like, this is going to be the one and only camp on the map controlled by C9 for the top lane. Yes, it is the lane that is pushed the most, so it's nice, but Cloud9 has such a small window to try to take a fight before Cog has level 16.
They're almost there, about half level to go. Cloud9 going to be looking to force a fight here. But they just, every time they want get this is the opportunity they have, right? They're on the same tier finally. They want to force a fight, but all they can do is react to mercenaries. They have to go clear bottom, right? But their fight might be forced down here.
All
right. Get this teleport in. ETC still top line, does have the stage dive.
Yeah. So Peekaboo does reveal that Caffeine is in the front. The rest of the team rotating and cleaning up these giants, but Cog still very much in position. Like you mentioned, stage dive is an incredible threat. He's cleaning up the bruiser camp in the top lane, and if they were feeling confident enough, they could go for that.
Winning these giants is actually a big deal for Cloud9 because it just gives them any breathing room to finally have something pushing into the base of Cognitive. Caterpillar just very much avoiding these bruisers, trying not to reveal himself to a boss up in 50 seconds. Cloud9, they just, look how safe Cognitive is. They're basically hiding in their structures because they know there is no reason for them to get in a fight right now. They're so close to 16 and they're about to have it, Jake.
Very safe, very good play here on the side of Cog. Now have confirmed confirmed level 16, which is going to give them great team fight potential, far greater than what Cloud9 has. Considering it's only that one temple here in the bottom of the map, C9 realizes they cannot fight, so they're pushing themselves into the top lane now. Falsight just missed vision. They're going hard onto the top wall.
And C9 does not care that they're down on talents here. They're looking for a fight at every corner. They're going to be pressuring in this top lane.
Again,
they have the Sylvanas.
A gust, right? What if Falsight flew behind and gusted them in? Yeah, they realize this might be a little bit dicey. Considering stage dive, gust, all the globals that exist, make that a very risky situation.
Bottom shrine is a single shrine temple here that will be sieging that bottom keep. I believe it has taken some serious damage as the front wall was attacked by that boss from before. And yeah, this will start doing some damage to that keep. And if left uncontested, it might actually take the keep itself. But there is a boss start here from Cognitive, and I think that they know C9 has to be here, right?
Yeah, they are well aware. C9 has not shown themselves in quite a while. King Caffeine in a very forward position, gonna go in, but they're collapsing onto Brightwing in the bottom. Huge damage in Iacona, blinking up with a living bomb on him, and will explode and die. So that's a big pick up there. Stage dive into the back line, but the ice block was used by Dunk Train to sustain through that. 4 versus 5, the gust to disengage, but Cloud9's insane and will catch up to level 16.
The gust interrupted the drag. That is the most important thing there. If drag would have connected, Caterpillar would have died 100%, but because they timed that perfectly for when the drag was about to come out, that saved his life.
Still, mega props to C9. They found a situation where they're behind. They looked like they were going to contest the boss, but instead everyone collapsed on Brightwing. Got a kill. King Caffeine getting very low, has to pop Avatar. The roots come out, Dwarf toss forward aggressively. Stormbolt on 2 targets, and Cloud9 will look to secure the kill on Cathon.
Oh, but iDream goes in for the burrow, gets the silence as well, Wailing Air Fall,
wow.
And that deletes Glaurung. No Metamorphosis is usable when you're silenced.
Yeah, they used isolation and I believe Wailing to just make sure that target had nowhere to go. Cattle trying to confirm this camp for his team, but will get pulled in. The Gravity Lapse does go in. Forest Wall denies some of the approach of Cloud9.
They do have Iacona back up. Cloud9 is doing what they need to do to force themselves back in this game. So much damage from Faye coming out from Caffeine. 24 seconds without Illidan.
This is still risky, though. It is a 4v5, even talent footing, but a level lead on the side of COG. Tranquility is going to be used
I think
here.
This is fine. They just got to avoid the gust, which means just King Caffeine has to dwarf toss it.
The
stage dive comes on the point. It doesn't matter. They got the boss, though. Mosh,
no.
It's going to fight with them. Caterpillar taking a lot of damage. There is the gust to disengage, so they are going to survive this, but that is a boss going towards that bottom keep.
So stage dive is spent to try to contest that. Unsuccessful in doing so. Cloud9 has even things out there on the same level in pushing with the boss here in bottom lane.
Well, we do see that they have the Sylvanas with this as well, Jake, so this can do some serious damage.
And so phase shift should be ready pretty soon. It was already spent, but he's got the full phase shift build.
Trying to force the fight here. Metamorphosis has been used aggressively. Tassadar taking a lot of damage. Silence goes down onto ETC. They're trying to catch Glaurung out of position, and so far C9 is holding, and the boss is getting free value on this keep.
Yeah, but that isolation did nothing. It was a pretty expensive throw to throw out there and just allow ETC to back away in those moments. Yes, the wall has gone down, but I guess the big benefit is the fact that there is a bottom temple waiting for them to grab those final shots.
About a half level to go until Cloud9 is on the same level as Cognitive, which I thought was not going to happen this game. I thought Cognitive was going to maintain that 2-level lead throughout the duration of this, but Cloud9, man, they are doing what they can to come back.
Yeah, still, it's all about that brilliant pickup on Brightwing. All right, well, we do see they're grabbing against some lane control. Bottom lane is going to have the Mercenaries, and they're now able to rotate up to the Bruiser camp. We also see Glaurung grabbing the Bruiser camp himself.
Yeah, Glaurung going to take these... We'll see what he can do to get his team in this game. Again, I am never a fan of aggressive metamorphosis. They need to be used defensively. You don't need to start the fight with you metamorphosing in. You can just dive in. It's not the same like old meta.
Yeah, if you go in aggressively with metamorphosis, you're just going to get hit by the gravity lapse and blown up by Kel'Thas at this point. So it's a very risky
dodge.
Yeah, exactly. So Glaurung in the front line. King Caffeine trying to get in the middle of that stage side. Going to go in on iDream, doing a ton of damage, but they immediately blow up Fallside. Cloud9 has Dream getting very low, but the Tranquility and the self-sustain is working out so well. K1 Pro got a bit low there, but no, the heals from Dunk Train are just too much, and the living bomb going to explode on Cattle. Cloud9 looking to continue forward. Illidan trying to dash away, but the damage from Kel'Thas is just too much, and they're going to get the kill on Cattle.
The game shifted the moment Kel'Thas hit 16. Once K1 Pro could take out a person by themselves, but something so beautiful happened in that fight. Caffeine was looking like he was going to go for the 2 above, the Tassadar, but he did something so beautiful. He knew Faye was in that bush. He threw the Stormbolt behind him. iDream, who was also moving up to follow up, instantly saw that and reacted to hit the drag onto Faye. That was so beautiful when it comes to just reacting to your teammate. I don't know if that was coordinated between the two of them, but the immediate reaction from Ivy was what secured that immediate kill onto Faye.
Okay, Glaurung is going deep. The face shift comes in, but the damage from Kael'thas is huge and forces him back, keeping Arthlon alive. Double temples have spawned. Just 8 seconds from now, they will be ready. And Cloud9 controlling the center of the map. 5 seconds till ETC is up. He will have stage dive very soon.
Level 20 almost here. Cloud9 with a level lead. I mean, just playing so brilliantly. They were down in kills, they were down in levels, and they were down in structures, Jake, and now they are ahead in almost all of those.
Yes, and I love this call. We see half the team just move back to base to just kind of make sure they're topped off of mana and ready for this fight, because if Cloud9 can take a team fight here with the keep starting to get sieged up in the backline, they can look to try to propel that into a win. Going in at full power, Dream is really pulling them back. The drag was cast, but no connection.
Yeah, good job from Catapult from just making sure he was keeping that spacing up. So it would have been a devastating position. And we're starting to see that the lack of cleanse is been a real struggle for Cognitive.
Yep. Well, Tacitor doing his best to shield that middle keep. We see he's very adamant about spending it every single time it's available. But yep, the shots remaining will be sufficient to eliminate the first keep of the game.
Yeah. And there's still a full ammo top shrine, Jake, that will be sieging that top keep. This could be a second keep here for Cloud9.
But level 20 was now just been picked up by Cognitive. They're going to look to make something happen. Glaurung in the front gets the face shield from Brightwing, but like what Dread was saying, they need to get those polys onto the backline.
Another aggressive meta that does not make any sense there, but Glaurung is going deep onto Dunk Train. He's in a very aggressive position. He still has not popped that Tranquility. They're trying to peel for his teammate. Nice bolt back from Dunk to reposition himself, and a good gust from Faye.
The wailing from afar with huge damage from that living bomb exploding, really dismantling them.
Oh,
and the burrow
Dream
from a forward. Now Dream in the front line looking for that drag. Does connect it on ETC. They're doing their best to blow him up. The face shield from Brightwing, very nice, but huge damage from Kael'thas, chunking through the health bar of ETC.
And every time that living bomb sprayed, it's just more auto attack targets for K1 Pro, and ETC's gonna fall. See that Coffin's taking a lot of damage. He's got his last shift. Can they catch up to him? Haunting Wave comes out. Brightwing trying to keep him alive. Good force wall, but Arthlon so aggressive with the double Haunting Wave. Might be able to get Coffin. Good roots from Dunk Train onto Brightwing. The drag follow-up is there. Does he have a blink kill to get away? He's trying to kite as well as he can. Living bomb goes out, and Iacona with the ice block does not stall out. He's gonna fall.
The bottom lane is being pushed in by Giants, but we actually see Glaurung is trying to push this as well. King Caffeine responding. Bottom keep will very likely go down, and Glaurung will be able to back away. A good decision here to try to get some advantage
if he
somewhere in the
doesn't
map.
die.
Isolation was dodged. Metamorphosis has been spent. The body block's there, and Glaurung overextending does end up falling.
Really well done there from C9. That's 3 kills for 0. They're up 9 kills to 5 now. They're just, I don't think Cognitive has gotten a kill since they hit
it's been a while.
It's been a long time. So we'll see the boss being started here. I mean,
Top Temple is still right for the picking. The Haka has just actually brushed off all the way to the top of the map. He's going to collect that. Boss for the bottom keep. All 3 keeps will likely be down after this push. Does go through. Oh, but look at the stage dive.
Does not have the burrow up just yet.
Oh my goodness.
He's going to try and get out. He's living as long as he can. Even if he dies here, he does get out. Oh my gosh. So he survives, and they don't get the boss. That's such a huge win for Cloud9.
Yeah, that is massive. I mean, they spent so much trying to blow him out. Now they're rotating, and Coffin Luck is all by himself.
Dragonlap's going to connect. The Stormbolt's going to be there. Brightwing trying to save him. The drag does not connect with Iacona. Silence goes down on the Tastar. He's going to fall as well.
Okay, that's a full minute death timer on Tacitor, who just got picked off. We will see Illidan up in 3 seconds. The top temple, it's actually irrelevant at this point.
This shot
C9 wants to push in.
Well, the thing about the top temple maintaining those shots is bottom keep took a lot of damage from the boss and is still taking damage.
Yeah.
And if they get that top keep as well, all those shots go to core, Jake.
Yeah, this is actually a really dead situation for Cognitive. Still 40 seconds before they have Tacitor back alive. Now that boss working adamantly on the bottom keep. The bottom keep has fallen. So, like you mentioned, with this top temple getting very low,
they don't have Tacitor, but they're trying there. Ice block and Tranquility have been used from Dunk Train. He gets polymorph. He's trying to stay alive. Glaurung doing a lot of damage. The bolt back was beautiful as well, and Glaurung is still chasing for this kill. He gets hit by the root. The Haunting Wave to reposition himself. Arthlon tries to, but nice jukes from Glaurung.
The stage dive going in once again. The reset at level 20, but Illidan Glaurung has gone down. Beautiful play from Dunk Train in that fight. And in the back, Cattle is doing his best to retreat, but Cloud9 just has to take out this one keep, control that top shrine, and they'll be sitting in a very close game-winning situation.
Full level up
pushing
here.
in.
They're looking for it. They're wanting to try and get another pick. But as Dahaka, I mean, why not pressure core while Dahaka is just sitting top?
I didn't see him brush Tucker up. All right, the core is falling quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Cloud9. They are so very close to a victory, but Sylvanas Arthlon does get picked off. That is costly.
57% on the court is Cloud9 willing to try and all in it. Falstad's flying top to stall this out, but now the moment Falstad leaves, you see Cloud9 engage onto the court. It's at 38%, and I don't think there's enough time to stop this with Kael'thas auto attacks just chunking the court. GG! Cloud9 goes to your grand finals to play Niantic.
And just like that, Cloud9, they have not dropped a map yet in this tournament. A 2-level lead at one point in that game for Cognitive, but they found that moment of opportunity, and they managed to bring it back. Wonderful shot calling and decision making by the team.
I think everything in that game goes back to the ban on Uther in the draft. The Brightwing just wasn't up. There was so much CC. Not being able to go cleanse, it hurt them a lot. It was such a struggle. Cognitive, I mean, they had a rough start day one. They really turned it up for day two. I mean, GG's to them, as they did play very, very well.
Yeah, they showed a lot of promise in that game. I mean, being up 2 levels against Cloud9 in the semifinals of any tournament, yeah, it's certainly a big feat.
When will this roadblock end for them? They can't seem to beat them on land.
Yeah, Cloud9's pretty good on land, man. They haven't dropped the match yet. They 2-0'd Niantic, largely considered the champions, and they'll be meeting them in the grand finals.
Yep, on the road. Maybe for a perfect tournament, but against Niantic, who knows? In the best of 5 situation, I think Niantic might have some things up their sleeves for sure towards that grand finals. But confirming them in the finals here as Cloud9 do move on against Cognitive. Fantastic stuff from them overall. Dread, looking at how that draft went down, looking at how the game went down, what has Cloud9 done right here during those games?
With the last game specifically, the Dahaka as a response, I feel like as the global pressure was something that was really, really good for them.
Yep.
Realistically though, when it came to the last draft, we talked a little bit about the ban process going on there. I did actually ask them a little bit about that. Somebody who's working with them directly, and they were talking about how it's because they expected the Zeratul and they wanted the Brightwing as a response to the Zeratul, so that was why the forced bans come out. But I mean, it's pretty much that you see game 1, Cloud9's got the Rexar strategy. They walked into it. They didn't have anything to be able to do with the situation. Game 2, they actually had a pretty significant lead for a short period of time. I think I still didn't really like the stage dive, but then just took way too many risks that I didn't feel like Cog had to make. And Cloud9 takes game number 2.
Well, we can go into our first replay from that game, of course, as Mr. Dread has been able to select some picks.
So this is why stage dive actually was a decent pick, because it's very good when you dive and you all in with Glorong here under the backline. So when stage dive hits and you all in with the composition, it's actually really, really good, and you see the effect that it kind of has on the backline there. But when you don't have that, it's worst case scenario, because essentially you have no Mosh to be a secondary threat. Illidan is the only thing you have to worry about killing. So it was a great use right there in the mid game from Cognitive to actually understand what their composition is very good at, maximizing on it, and actually that's what led to a pretty significant lead on their half.
Many, many follow-ups on towards helping Illidan and aiding him in his job, basically.
Yeah, it's kind of just like where you're dive buddies, right? And it's very hard when you have 2 dive buddies going into the backline. Like, how do you deal with it? Who are you focusing on? How the peeling comes out is very hard to deal with. So.
All right, let's take a look at replay number 2.
This one is just actually a cute little play here coming out from Dahaka with positioning, getting a huge flank, and predicting Galarong got to be in there, getting the drag, and they just all in and commit to him. Nothing too major. Dahaka actually did get a grab up top that was actually more impressive, but sadly we didn't get to catch that one. So
yeah, but I mean, this is the power of Dahaka, and I'm to be fair, I am surprised that we haven't seen it more this tournament.
I agree.
I think that on maps like this, it is very, very powerful. We have seen it heavily prioritized in Europe to the point where it was almost banned every single game.
So we don't see that much contention in China or in Korea, but it's still a lot more play than we see in NA.
Right.
It's really surprising.
Yeah.
Sure. All right, well, of course, Cloud9 moving on to the grand finals now, and they're going to be playing off against Niantic, which is a expected result from this. And in fact, we are joined by another tall gentleman. As we do greet him. Hello, Arthlon. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good, good. That was a clear win overall. A little bit rough at the start of that Sky Temple game, but overall very, very strong coming out. So we didn't get to see much Dahaka at all in this tournament so far, up until, well, I mean, really, that was the most strong execution we've seen of it so far. So talk to us about the composition and talk to us about Dahaka on a map like Sky Temple.
We really wanted Dahaka there because we knew they were going to go, they already had 2 globals with Falstad and Brightwing, and we knew they were going to pick either Dahaka or ETC for last, and ETC can obviously get stage dive. So we knew they're going to have a bunch of globals, and Dahaka's really good at countering that because he basically puts out the most pressure with his global because he just has so much like kill pressure, and he can also clear waves. So his global kind of just outweighs even if they have 3, just because he pressures so much.
All right. Any questions from the panel here?
Yeah, you know, since you've joined Cloud9, we've seen you go through multiple transitions as a player, but as a person as well. Has Dunk Train influenced your glorious beard at all?
Like a little bit, like when there's another beard, it's more comfortable to have one, I guess. I don't know.
We've all been influenced. We've all been influenced.
It's a great beard. It's a great
He's
beard.
definitely an influence, though, that's for sure.
Right on.
Anyone?
I don't have anything. I felt like it was pretty straightforward.
I mean, Naventic, you got them coming up. You 2-0'd them in the earlier stages. Naventic says they've studied. They're going to change their draft. Are you afraid?
Oh, we definitely can't sleep on them. They're going to come out swinging for these grand finals. You know, this is the spot for Sweden, so it means a lot. Everyone's going to put everything they have, and I think we're going to be able to pull it off.
To follow up on that, though, after your last match with them, they said that they were hiding strats, right? Do you actually agree that they were hiding strats, or you think that the Asmodee
I would hope so after that Asmodee play. But
Yeah, it wasn't great.
I mean, they're definitely hiding, but I think we know what they're hiding, so it doesn't really matter.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, okay, okay. That's an interesting thing to say. So, prediction for your score for the final?
3-0.
Whoa. All right.
I love
then.
the confidence.
Oh, all right. Well, thank you very much, Arthur Long. Good luck in the finals.
Thank
and good luck to Cloud9 as well as Naventic, of course. Let's take a look at the brackets and check in with exactly everything that has been updated, of course, as we do have. Now, it confirmed for the grand finals coming up right now, in a few minutes, of course, it's going to be Team Naventic going up against Cloud9. Couldn't really have it any other way, boys. That is one way to round out this tournament. The two very best fighting off in a final once again.
I mean, the representatives from Worlds last season, obviously these teams are showing a lot of consistency, and I'm not surprised at all myself. Even if C9 looked like they were in a slump in the online qualifiers, they always show up to lands.
All right, guys. Well, of course, make sure to go over to gear.blizzard.com where you can get 15% off all of your Heroes of the Storm goodies. I like how I have so many assistants.
I was trying to help him out there.
Yeah?
Get the target. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Another hand as well. How do you have 3 hands? 4 hands? Wow, that's amazing. So, yeah, make sure to enter that code, obviously, and you'll be in with a chance, in fact, a guaranteed chance, of course, to get 15% off. Everyone wins.
What a good chance, man.
That's a pretty good chance.
How do you not do it? You just got to go right now.
You just got to go buy things. I buy lots of things when it comes to the Blizzard store. It gets expensive in the end for me because I buy everything. All right, so join us after the break when we go into the grand finals. You don't want to miss this one. It's going to be Team Naventic going up against Cloud9 for the championship.